Nsem-Pii TV. Your mom and boss for you. I think say Obia Nsem-Pii TV.
Entrepreneurship maybe.
Nsem-Pii. Yeah, you ask good questions. I hope sir you continue with your good questions.
Be the first to know Nsem-Pii TV. Be the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Your mama wakwa be by Nsem-Pii TV so. Paul Adum Oche, our regular host for Good Evening Ghana, Metro TV. Na what display a brilliant analysis nina for a by-election basso on the Assin North. Or share two major political parties, both NPP and NDCs, and also their candidates are choosing or representing both parties. The one who is strongly to win the seat for his party, and Nsem-Pii and analysis are Paul Adumochi de Gusu T4. Best say Beko Nekuti Paul Adumochi, no Ankasa Nunsem, analysis of their Guho or their head by election bus on the 27th June.
Process. Ashin is the candidate for the NDC now. You know about him. He is the candidate that was elected in 2020, and a court case was filed against him relating to citizenship, something that we have seen before. It's not new. And it was said by the Supreme Court that he's unable to continue as Member of Parliament. However, he's qualified to contest the by-election because the processes and the dates have changed. So by the time that the by-election filing was being conducted, Assin had completed the process of renouncing his Canadian citizenship. What happened to him in 2020 was that whereas he had begun the Canadian citizenship, he hadn't completed it. And if you have not completed, then it is not complete. Then you remain a Canadian citizen until you complete it. The citizenship does not whittle away a little bit and a little bit. It whittles away once. You take it once and it goes away once. So if you start the process, it hasn't gone. We don't take from it a little bit. So you're half Canadian, quarter Canadian, 1/10 Canadian, and then 90% Ghanaian. No. So it happens only once. So that by the time he was filing, he wasn't qualified. He knew he wasn't qualified. He said that he was qualified. And that's why the Supreme Court said no. However, now he's running for the seat, and he's also in court anyway, but he's running for the seat. And out there, his campaign, as we are hearing, because we are preparing to go, so I asked reporters to tell me what's happening. What we're picking from there is that his main campaign is a campaign of sympathy. He says that the government doesn't like him and they wanted him out, and even though he's qualified, they still managed to let the Supreme Court say that he's not qualified. That's the propaganda we understand is going around, and he's actually campaigning for sympathy votes, which is fair. It's fair to do that. So he's campaigning for sympathy votes. Now, this other man, who is the New Patriotic Party candidate, is also very important in the equation. Now, why is he important in the equation? Because of how the first elections occurred. How Assin defeated the NPP candidate. I'll show you the results in a minute. You will see that Assin defeated the NPP candidate of 2020 in the constituency. But President Akufo-Addo defeated John Dramani Mahama in the presidential election, and that's why he's making this election very, very interesting. NPP believe that they would have won the seat if not for a few difficulties, which occurs almost every time in almost every constituency with the characterization of the parliamentary candidate. So they think that this was their seat. NPP think this was their seat. It was lost on some little matters. And those little matters they think they can resolve. I'll be showing you videos now of Chairman Wontumi to show you how they are trying to resolve the matter. So this is the lady we're talking about. Intelligent, pretty lady, but it appeared that there were some difficulties with the situation. So she, being a very loyal servant of the NPP, decided that if she's the problem, then she will not run at all. So she didn't even pick forms. I think that the NPP leadership spoke with her and said that, these chieftaincy issues, they are intractable, really. Some of the chieftaincy issues are actually intractable. You can't do anything about it. If you have caught in it, you're caught in it. Unfortunately for her, she was caught in it, and it affected the fortunes of her party. So she says that I'm not going to run anymore. I'm not interested. I'll step aside. I want the party to win. So the party should choose another candidate. And then they chose this candidate who comes from the same hometown in Breku, in Assin North, with Assin. So what the NPP is trying to do on Tuesday is to be able to split the votes out of Assin's stronghold. They've taken a candidate from there, who comes from there, who is actually registered elsewhere, but that's not against the law now, we know. He comes from Breku, and so they are pitching him against Assin so that hopefully they can split some of the votes. Now, these are the two other important gentlemen. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, former president. In 2020, Nana Addo defeated John Dramani Mahama in this constituency, whereas the NPP lost the parliament. So the jury is out, or the stage is set, and we will be there for sure to bring it to you. So these are the important numbers. 2020 election, James Jachikwason, he gets 17,498 and he picks up 55.21% of the votes. Abna Drowa Mensah, the lady that we're talking about, she picked up 14,193 and picks up 44% of the votes. Now see what happens in the presidential election in the next slide. Here's the presidential election results. You can see Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo picks up 16,067 votes, representing 50.81% of the vote, and John Dramani Mahama picks up 15,000, particularly close, very close, 15,014 votes, representing 47.48% of the vote. So in a situation like that, it's open, isn't it? It's going to be an open contest. It's not clear who is going to win. Now, though, the NPP have picked a candidate from Breku in the hometown of Jachikwason. So they are hoping to split up the vote in Jachikwason's hometown, and then hopefully they can gather some rest. Jachikwason is hoping to hold on to his votes. Everybody is in Assin. President Mahama is there, NPP leadership are there, Wuntumi is there, Jachikwason is there. So Wuntumi went in there. My man. I admire Chairman Wuntumi. Forgive me. I admire his tenacity. I admire his resolve. I admire his energy, and I admire his understanding of politics. I was speaking to Nsem-Pii earlier this evening. He said that, Paul, look, Wuntumi is the producer of our time. Nobody can change that. And he's in Assin North. He's giving me the information from the NPP angle. I've seen text messages that has been forwarded by Nsem-Pii and others on the phone, and Nsem-Pii was referring to NPP buying votes. I've seen the video. I forwarded the video to other people. They are checking it, and they will let me know what happened. There's some track of some sharing fertilizers, and NDC complained that is vote buying. So we are keeping our eyes on Assin. Let's look at this video where Wuntumi is in Breku, the hometown of Jachikwason, and is celebrating the fact that the NPP have also picked the candidates from there, and he's dancing with the people of Breku. Have a look. All right, so you heard Chairman Wuntumi over there. You saw him, you saw Chairman Wuntumi, and he was talking about his dancing to the jubilation in Breku. Let's see another video in which Chairman Wuntumi again goes to church with the candidates, and then we'll show you another interesting video of, you heard about some accident, unfortunate accident occurred in the place. We'll find out what happened in some detail. But here's Wuntumi again in a church with the candidates. That was Chairman Wuntumi again. He was preaching. Now, this is the other story, and this video is about 3 minutes long. It's coming up soon. So, there was an accident in the constituency. I think President Mahama's convoy or some NDC people were involved in an unfortunate accident. President Mahama was in the hospital, sort of commiserating with them. We saw those videos. However, somebody unfortunately died. It's a very unfortunate story, but one person died. It is being reported that after the person died, the NPP team led by Wuntumi went straight to the person who was dead and tried to commiserate with the family, and it has given the NPP some good politics over there. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't, but it's important that people go and commiserate to somebody who's lost a life in the political circumstances. So it was very, very useful that Chairman Wontumi went there to do that. It may give the NPP some sympathy votes, it may make the people feel NPP is good, but it may not. But whatever it is important that Chairman Wontumi did what he did. Have a look.
Mesramo Obayi na nesi dai anu wawu achina me blamu 50 bags of